Today is Earth Day. It's a day dedicated to protecting the planet and promoting environmental awareness.
Did you know? One way to celebrate Earth Day could be something called forest bathing. Forest bathing. Jessica LaRusso with 5280 Magazine with us this morning to talk about what the heck is taking a bath in the forest. Now, admittedly, Corey said, and I said, we didn't know anything about this.
Yes.
But I know it has nothing to do with soap, water, or shampoo. What is it?
Yes, that's a great start. So forest bathing is a practice of going out into nature and really just immersing yourself in the sights and the sounds and the smells, which you would think would come naturally to Coloradans. We like to go out, but it's a little counterintuitive to the way we often approach the outdoors. We're trying to bag peaks and log a bunch of miles on our trail runs, you know? So this is really more about focusing on the journey than the destination or the goal.
Like a more laid-back approach.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I was going to say, how is this different than hiking? But hiking is usually like, you know, we're trying to get to the peak of something. This is more chill.
Yes, this is more of an internal journey.
Where did forest bathing even come from?
Yeah, so it was popularized in 1980s Japan when doctors, even back then, were prescribing it to combat what they called techno-stress. So, you know, which sounds familiar to those of us who are alive in 2026, right? All the notification pings and being stuck at a desk and the recirculated air. They wanted people to get out into nature. And over the decades, they've really found that it has some pretty good effects on lowering blood pressure, boosting your immune system. Some of that they think is from these compounds that are emitted by conifer trees, which obviously we're blessed to have a lot of in Colorado. Yeah. So, yeah.
Been around for a long time.
Again, this is the first time we've been talking about forest bathing. I don't even know, is there a guide involved in this, or do you go guideless?
Sure. So you can do either. One of the great things about forest bathing is that it's so accessible. Anybody could do a little research, go out. You don't even have to go to the mountains. You can go to your local park. You can go in your backyard. But it can be really helpful to go out with a guide. I followed a wonderful woman named Darlene out on a Flagstaff Mountain, and first of all, she walked so slow. I mean, just like, I never would have been able to make myself walk that slow. And she's telling me to, you know, pay attention to the muscles in my legs and touch the grasses as we're walking by. And then she gave me some things to focus on. Look for light and shadow or patterns in nature, which is really helpful because, of course, my mind is starting to wander to my inbox or what's for dinner. So you kind of come back to those prompts. She did a little tea ceremony at the end where we could share our insights and reflections. I may have broken down and cried.
Jeez Louise.
Wow.
Yeah, so again, you can do it by yourself, but for the first time especially, it can be really therapeutic and helpful to go out with a guide.
I feel like it runs parallel to, like you were just saying, touch grass. You know, people say touch grass.
Yeah.
Which is, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like just getting out there and being in nature, with nature.
And it can feel a little silly about yourself, right? Which is nice if you have a guide telling you to caress the bark. You're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna caress the bark, you know? All right. You know, just lean in here.
How did you find it? How did you find Darlene? How do you find a guide?
So there's an association that certifies guides, so that's a good place to start. But also on our story about this on 5280.com, we've rounded up a handful of local front range guides who are a really great place to start.
Normally when you come in, we would have a copy of the magazine, 5280, right there in front of that plant. Again, this is a digital story. You can only find it online. We still appreciate you coming in and explaining what the heck this forest bathing business is all about.